You know, you were counting them down. So I throwing a bunch of dang cent. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning for all the people out east. This is Beyond Borders, live show number 2. And today, the Orange Man has been summoned to the forefront once again. Amid the COVID-19, aka the coronavirus, this next 2 weeks are going to be probably the most important weeks of the President Trump's presidency first term. So I reached out on Instagram and asked any black people who are either for or against him to come on since we're in the election cycle and explain their position if they like him or they're against him. Now, me, I'm an independent and I'm indifferent. I don't know about the other 3 who I have on this panel, but they will introduce themselves and they will tell us where they fall in line. So we will let ladies go first with the lady of the house, Miss Rose Gold.
Not no host. Or no guest. Come on now. I'm an
I said
independent
the lady
too.
of the house.
I'm an independent too. So far he has not impacted my bottom line, but I do have certain things that I don't like about him. So we'll talk about that. It's not
Yes, we
everything
will.
about his presidency that I don't like, but there are just a few things that will shape the future and so far that he's doing that I not approve of.
Okay. Now we will introduce the first of our 2 guests. Once again, ladies first, because it's Women's History Month. And don't want to offend no females. Plus, the way that it's lined up, she was next anyway. So, Miss Kim, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Kim from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm for Trump. I have like several reasons why I am, and one of the main reasons is because he has given back to my son's school, which is a black college. And to each his own of their opinion. I get bashed a lot about it, but it is what it is.
Okay. Very good. And last but not least, a very, very dear friend of mine. He was in my wedding, so I guess he's considered a brother. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Mike. I go by the real Mike Wilson. I'm an MC that came from Brooklyn, staying out in Queens these days. And Mike hit me up personally. He was like, "We can talk a little bit about your music." And then a couple of days later, he asked me if I was against or for Trump. Found out I was against Trump, and then somehow tricked me into being a part of this show for today. So, with that said,
Sound like him.
See,
Sounds like kid.
see, I was gonna feature your music,
Mhm.
and now see, there you go. Now you got to pay us $25.
Well, that's fine. I'll pay the $25 if it means I get to be honest. But yeah, so I mean, I think the 3 of you may have way more information, way more of a political stance on your feelings towards Trump, which is awesome. And I'm looking forward to learning a lot in this particular kind of meetup. So again, I do have my reasons, of course, why I don't like him, but I mean, like you said, like Kim said, each his own. So I'm definitely looking forward to learning more and kind of gathering a larger perspective on Trump. I will come out and say, just kind of for my opening, I'm totally a Bernie Sanders supporter. That's just like my flow. But let me just hear what you guys have to say today.
Cool.
Awesome.
If you're feeling the burn, that means you need to go to the doctor.
Well, if we had Medicaid for all, I could afford it.
Oh, come on now,
I
Mike.
don't know if they're gonna clear for me.
I'm just saying that was just a
That's
come on,
not
that was a
something
good
I would
comeback.
do.
That was just a good comeback. Come on.
Oh, don't worry. We
That was a good one, though.
We're gonna talk about everybody's favorite Jewish grandfather. Don't worry.
Oh wow. Okay, here we go.
Exactly. You wasted no time.
Listen, I take shots like a white girl on spring break. But let us
Wow.
begin.
Let us begin.
Well, white girls are mad right now. There's no spring break. They mad. They can't meet no other kids from other schools. Woo. Shh. You can hear them crying.
Let's get into this, kid. Come on. The more we let you lose.
I'm not on trial today. Okay, let's begin.
Let's begin.
COVID-19. We all see how it's starting to devastate the world. Italy's locked down. France is shuttering all restaurants and cafes, which is a very big blow to their economy. Germany just started closing their borders. Borders is a great word because borders and Trump, woo, that's a very hot button word.
Yeah. Good thing we're beyond borders, you know.
Oh yeah, we are. We speak real. So Trump this week had his press conference about the COVID update and how it's impacting America, which I think right now is over 2,000 cases. And up here in New York, 2 people died already. So first we'll ask Mike, how do you think the president handled the response to the COVID-19?
The spoiler kind of thing I'm about to say here. My boss is actually studying emergency management. And so I get most of my updates about COVID almost directly from her. So she's on the, what's that thing called? I'm forgetting the proper name of the website, but she follows all the news sources that just speak on the updates. She's constantly getting updates. She's a part of the CERT, the emergency CERT team in New York City, where volunteers essentially help out in like different crisis situations. Mm-hmm. And what I'm learning from her is that 1, we should have been way better prepared, just in general. Right. And 2, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys feel free to correct me on this, Trump didn't take it seriously as the cases were coming in. And then after a while, I guess, he had to do what he needed to do. But he was saying it was like a ploy from like Democrats or some ridiculous statement of the sort. So I don't think he was prepared for it. And there's a lot of speculation that he might actually be infected, because there was the gentleman who was I don't remember the particular political person's name nor title, but he was in close quarters with the president. And I didn't watch the press conference, but a lot of my friends were telling me that Trump didn't look too good. Like, he looked like he needed to get checked. And I think he stated that he was going to get checked or something of the sort. So I don't think he took it seriously quickly enough. Also, he absolutely needs to look out for his health. He's an older person. He's a person who is very likely to be hurt if he is infected. So yeah, that's my opinion. I don't think he was prepared. I don't think the country was prepared. And generally speaking, it's not really even Trump's fault. Like, generally speaking, there's a lot of issues that on a pandemic level or emergency level that Americans aren't prepared for, because much like a lot of other aspects of things, we're not really taught to deal with emergency. Like, how many of you guys have an emergency bag by your front door? If something was to happen, you could run out and still have a charger or some clothing or even some bags of water or food or whatever. How many of you guys have that prepared in your home today?
I don't.
And that's the thing. And you do. Okay, kid, nice. But yeah, that's the thing. And it's super important for the average American to have, the average human throughout the world to have, but these aren't protocols that are taken. So that's what I mean. It's not necessarily Trump's fault, but for what he understood and for what he knows, and just the way, I guess, Americans kind of do things, like, we need to step up our emergency planning. We don't think we're able to get hit by natural disasters or pandemics and things, but the more and more we go through, the more and more the years go, we see more and more issues that we are underprepared for.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kim.
That is.
I know you can't wait. I saw that face.
I'm just saying, like, I think if if everybody would have voted on him to go on and start with the borders, that would control a lot, because America is like one of the only countries that you just free to come to. Anybody, you go to China, you can't go to China like you can come to America and just live and do what you want to. And a lot of that stuff is, it's not Trump's fault. And like Obama, he started, and Bush, it take it all the way back to that. He had them making American drugs for us. Trump trying to bring our jobs back here. We make our own drugs. Like, the drug that's out now that started the coronavirus. And it's not that serious like a lot of people think it is. You know, like I think it's just a big media blast. Like for real, I looked it up every election time. It'd be like something that comes out: Ebola, swine, West Nile. You know, it's like I don't know, but yeah, it's not his fault, and America just need to do better. If they should have let him got the border wall is good for me. I'm good. I'm glad of that. You know, like
Okay.
I think
All right.
so.
So
I mean, I know a lot of people
pretty
like,
much.
yeah, they be like, you crazy for going with Trump and this and that, but I'm just being honest because I mean, it's just the right thing to do. Like, in my opinion,
Okay.
it will stop a lot
Okay.
extra crime, a lot of extra tax money we have to pay. We paying for these people,
Mm.
and so
Well, we'll
when
get
they
to that.
come, it's extra.
We'll get to
We
the
could have.
we'll get to the illegal immigrants a little later. I want to finish off this topic, and then we're gonna move on to the next one. I don't want everybody to fire off their bullets yet, because then we got a 20-minute show and no content. Stop shaking your head. I can see you doing that. Now, I saw Rose over there taking notes. What you writing down?
A whole lot. So
A whole
I
lot.
think we're talking about Corona, right? COVID-19.
Right.
I think coming back to your question, whether we were prepared enough. To Mike, you did mention that he looked sick. He actually took the test to COVID-19. He tested negative. So yes, he
Perfect.
was in
Glad to hear that.
Mar-a-Lago. He was in Mar-a-Lago, and I think Brazilian official came to visit, and one person of the delegation later on tested positive, and then the second person did. So I think during that rally or that press conference, should I say, he looked sick, and it was mounting pressure for him to take it. And he took it finally. I think yesterday he tested negative.
Okay.
It's not to his fault, like you mentioned. I agree with you. I don't think we can sit down here and blame response, but I think it's just a general sense that we usually not prepare in general for certain things to happen. Knowing what we know and seeing how it's going on around in other country, we always feel like it's not coming here. We save, it's fine, up until it start getting bad and worse. His response actually to the COVID was not too late. It was delayed, but I won't say it was late. So he did what he had to do. He declared a national emergency, and very quickly he didn't wait, for weeks and weeks to go by. I mean, I'm sure he was briefed on early on when it started back in China, and then it started moving to certain part of Europe and the Middle East. But as soon as it started hitting certain part of the country here, he acted and did what he had to do. So yeah, I think he acted, the response was appropriate. Delayed,
Okay.
but not too late.
Okay.
That's it, kid.
Cool. So basically the consensus is wasn't his fault, but there was things that could have been cleaned up and some things that could have been tightened up, which is fine. I'll accept that criticism, because at least you came out with reasons. You didn't just say because he's a jackass and all that. Perfect.
That's the type of answer that you always give. That's why.
I'll call everybody a jackass, including myself. I'm a jackass. And my wife's changed.
You are.
This phone. I'm not picking it up. Okay, second question. We have no sports, which sucks.
It does.
Without sports,
it really does. But Sunday is our for sports.
Right. Politics. That's all that's going to be dominated now. It's been what? Officially 4 years now? No, 3 years. Right? Am I wrong? Am I right about that? Or
that what happened? We don't know what facts you about to put on us. What's up?
Like when he took office, it's been
This has been 3 years that he's been in office, you're saying?
Boy, bye. Election
Yeah.
is in November. What the?
No, I'm talking about when he got inaugurated. You be quiet.
I was in DC, but I didn't go, man. It was down the street, but I said, never mind. We're good.
You ain't want to go see that man? What was that? What car was that?
I just hit him with my screen and touch him right there. Hey.
You're not watching no porno while we doing this, are you? I don't know. You smiling over there a little too much for my liking. And we talking some stuff serious over here. I'm just saying.
Boy.
No.
I'm just saying. No,
Kim,
not you.
he coming for me, Kim. Don't worry. You're not gonna hit a. He coming. Oh, it's off
I
of me.
know about your Idris Elba private collection. Well, you whipped it out real fast.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right.
We're
We're gonna get off track. We're gonna get off track.
Exactly. Go ahead and say it all. What else do you know about?
Okay. I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds.
Just come to the question already, boy. Please.
Oh, hang on. You can preface it. 30 seconds.
Wait.
To explain, what grade would you give the Orange Man for his first, we'll call it 3.5 years?
Are we gonna call him the president, or are you still gonna call him for the rest of the show the Orange Man?
I'm trying to appeal to everybody, especially the
Right,
liberals.
right.
I can't say Trump. If I say Trump, then they start.
Hold on.
Call him Trump,
saying
man.
His name is
Wait a
Trump.
minute,
Just call him
hey.
Trump.
Exactly. We're gonna call him Trump. We're gonna call him.
Okay,
He is president. You can call him president.
Yeah, you're gonna talk about an
President
Orange
Trump.
Man. Dang.
Everybody calls him
Wow.
Orange Man.
We're gonna call him
Hey,
Trump
Kim, if you need
because
more information, just
because
let
of
us know.
Kim. We're gonna call him Trump, President Trump, right, Kim?
That's right.
That's
That's
what we're
right.
gonna do. Go
He's
ahead.
the president. That's right. He's the president.
He is the
Okay,
president.
okay, fine.
You got you gotta
President
respect
Trump.
that. Yes, you gotta respect that.
We're
I
respecting the
respect
electoral college,
whoever's
right?
sitting down.
That was a joke. Never mind.
Yeah, whatever. I heard that. Whatever. Okay. Grade for the president. We'll start with Kim.
Of course, 100.
For me,
I'm kidding.
Stop it.
no, y'all being funny now.
Stop
I
it.
do like him, but come on now. I will get
Okay.
right now. I will give him like
Wait, say that again.
90%. Yeah, she did drop the
Yeah.
little.
Someone's getting a phone call.
Are you getting
I
a phone
will.
call?
It's
That's your
over
Uber
with.
Eats.
She said she was. The way she said, I was. Why he
I
was?
was.
that your
I don't
Uber
know.
Eats
I was. What, boy? Well, go ahead.
Yeah, but I give him a 90%.
Is your barbecue at your house?
Not yet. Not yet.
If you don't answer, he gonna pull up. You know how they do.
Not yet. All right.
Right. Crazy.
Look, if your headset's not working, you could just pull it out. Wait, you could just pull it out if it's not working.
He gonna pull up, not pull up. I'm kidding. Never mind.
There you go.
Y'all silly.
Yeah, I shouldn't have let me get this
Shouldn't
wine,
have
y'all.
wine.
That one, I
Y'all
got you.
silly.
All right, so you say
Yeah, but
90%. Miss
I
Rose.
say 90%.
90%. Miss Rose.
That is high. That's all I have to say. That is high. Damn. How do I assess this presidency?
It take this long?
30-second,
Listen,
right? I'm probably like
so she sees everything firsthand. So you know it's a lot to process.
damn. 49.
I'll wait.
God,
100,
49.
right?
This motherfucker didn't even get a passing grade. God,
Out of 100,
okay.
right? 49%.
That's fine. That's your opinion. No more.
Yes,
Mr.
that's
Wilson.
Again, you guys are way more politically averse than I am. So my score comes from more personal opinions and less actual facts. So I'll just be honest and open about that. I'm kind of with Rose Gold, though. I think like definitely like a 50 for me. That's just how I feel.
Okay.
Again,
That's
as
a
far
good
as like, well, just I don't like the orange dude.
Well, we'll get into why. We'll get into why. I think I know why, but we'll get into it.
Okay. But what about you, kid?
I would say I'll give him a 70.
Okay.
70? Okay.
That'll work. That'll work.
C minus. He won't pass the CPA with that. Yeah, the 75
Well,
on
nobody
all
said
four
that, so we gonna get into that. I'm gonna leave it alone. What you mean you don't see nothing? Okay, I'm gonna hit y'all with a question, and then I gotta go show my wife how to get on this thing. Okay. So, question.
We know it's coming. Come on now.
Stop it. You don't know what I'm about to say. How do you feel about the wall going up?
What war?
I didn't say nothing about no war. I said wall.
Yeah, she said, "What wall?"
The wall on the
Yeah, I'm
southern
about to say
border.
what war?
The one.
Everybody alone.
The wall,
Not no war.
the wall, not the water. The
You know,
wall.
that's not New York.
WALL.
The walls. Okay, the
Okay.
walls.
Okay,
W-A-L-L.
I'm about to say
The
what
wall.
war?
The biggest
That's
point
all
of
like,
contention
like what
during
war?
this campaign. Because we all know the wall going up.
Yeah, well, it should go up. I mean, not
Go
being
ahead,
mean or
Kim.
nothing like
You
that. Yeah, not
jumped from
being
Corona
mean
to
or nothing.
Borders Wall earlier,
Right.
so
I
yeah.
was confused for a minute. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think for just American protection, America needs to take care of America first. Like we spending extra money on like our taxes. We paying taxes for other people that's not Americans. Do you get it? Like, and he really the first president that just actually thought about just coming up with this wall and going through with it. So I mean, I'm totally with it. I mean, I'm not against nobody coming over here, but like you said, if you are legal, come on. I mean, don't sneak over here. Like that's a crime. You go to jail. Right. I mean,
I
it
agree
is.
with you. I think with the border, I wanted to bring a point when you mentioned the border wall in terms of immigration and illegal immigration, or should I say undocumented illegals or immigrants. Um, the majority of people actually that come over here that are considered later on undocumented illegal actually immigrants actually came here legally. They actually came here with visa. Um, yes, we do have some sort of illegal immigration going on at the southern border. But it's not anything in percentage compared to the amount of immigration we have coming through the airs. So we have to remember the United States are not like a country in Europe with many other country bordering, like France or Luxembourg or Belgium. We only have, we have nothing to the east and nothing to the west. We have Canada in the north, and at the south we have Mexico. Now Mexico share border with other little countries at the bottom, but we only share frontier with literally two countries. And Trump is not the first president to mention a border wall. That border wall has been in place, right? When he brought up the wall, he was actually trying to close up the gap in between the barriers or the wall that were already built in previous administration, going back all the way since Clinton. So those walls are very old, and they were there in place for many, many years over different presidents. Walls for me, I'm not saying completely no, just to say no because it's Mr. Trump, but I'm saying no because I'm looking at how effective they could be. We know, and there have been a lot of these on TV. They've shown it that coyotes, which are the people that bring people illegally, trafficking, some could call them like that, dig holes underneath those walls and are able to come out straight out in the state. And usually it's not closer to the border. It's usually start far way back in cities and villages in deep Mexico. And they're able to keep going all the way. They hit one side, one part of the state, either California, Arizona, or Texas, and they come out and there they go. Should we focus on them? Of course, yes, we should. But we should focus on controlling effective immigration. meaning having more border patrol agents, building a good sense of community with those town neighbor our border, so that our agents or ICE, ICE has a so relationship. They've done great things, and they've done really bad things. Because remember, when they started having a lot of people in custody and detention, we also started seeing an increase in death in detention, which makes you question what actually goes on in detention. When you have these people in detention, the goal is to take them back to their country. The goal is not for them to die in your detention, in your possession. Then now you have to respond, because you could just take them back. Period. Um, but to be frank and honest, illegal immigration through the border, through the territorial border with Mexico, um, is a very low percentage if we were to look at every single undocumented immigrant here in the state. Usually those visa people overstay their visa a lot. Um, just for the sake of it, I will bring 21 Savage. Um, just because he's from Atlanta, and this case is very similar to many children. He came here in the state when he was younger from the UK, and really didn't know a thing about a visa. He was a kid. Usually those are grown up adult that knows, things, what a visa is, what you need to get a green card and things like that. I came here to the state to meet my mother, and that's what happened. It was, me and my brother, we came over, and we had our visa, and then we got our green cards, and then later on we became American citizen. So in terms of relation to taxes, one thing that you brought up is yes, some of those undocumented illegal immigrant do work under the table, meaning they pay cash and do not pay any taxes. But some of them actually are given, when you come through the air, you're actually given like a work visa or a work permit to work. If you use that, then they can collect taxes on your paycheck. And so some of them actually do work and pay taxes. Not all are on the black market. So it's so. One thing I don't like about this president, of course, is that he doesn't tell it how it is, and I think that's where politics kicks in. To say I'm building a wall, not really saying, "Hey, I want to fill the gap that were not there from the previous administration. I want to completely close it and lock it out." A lot of advisor came and told him what are the effective way of controlling the entrance of undocumented immigrants here. And I don't think wall was even the number one option. Neither was the number two. So, but they're doing the administration to their to their positive. They are curbing legal immigration too. There are. So I know that he decreased the amount of green cards lottery to come to the United States that you can win. I think it used to be 10,000 every year. I think he took it down. I don't know what's the new number now. Other ways like work visa, work permit, student visa, those number are don't going down, and that's what consider legal immigration, because you come here with your own mean, and you have the way to pay your own school. You can work. No, those student visa don't have the right to work, but you're financing your own education, and then you have to return to your country. So he's curbing both legal and illegal immigration at the same time. But for the border wall, I think there are better ways for us to cut those number down, not using a wall or finishing a wall, should I say. Come back, kid.
Oh, the wall going up. Huh?
Come back. I don't
The
see
wall
you.
going up. Oh,
Okay, we know that.
Real fast. I had to run outside real fast. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. I'm a little lost. So you said he was no good.
He just
Who
like
said
to
that?
For a lot
minimize
of-
your whole history
I'm
lesson that
trying
you
to-
just went in on.
He came with a bottle on
I-
him, so you said he was no
I got a
good.
wife
That's
and
not
kid.
what I
I
said.
Oh my god.
I got a wife and kid. Leave me alone. So everybody answered, right?
No,
I
Mike.
get re-educated when I
Mike gotta
Huh?
go. Mike.
I mean, I'm good with not going there. I feel like you both said everything. You know, I learned so much just now, and I appreciate that. And I'm all good with going on this next part.
Let's do it.
Okay, the next card. We got to talk
Right.
about it.
This is not a script, Mike.
Obama! You know we got to talk about Obama.
You know, the greatest
favorite.
president ever. Come on. Bring it
The
on.
lies you tell.
Obama.
Bring it
The
on.
lies you tell.
Name another
The
one.
lies you tell.
Name another
What?
one.
The greatest president ever?
I mean, I just wanted to rap a song. I don't even know what's going on right now.
We gonna let you freestyle real fast. Don't worry. But
I don't know about all that. With the lag, I don't know
I
how
want
that
to talk
went
to
down.
her
But
about
still.
it. 'Cause she said this. She was wild 3 weeks ago when she said Obama was the greatest president ever. I was like, wait, what?
Maybe I'm doing the most. I have to admit that. I'm just doing that to piss you off, but he was good. I'm not gonna call him the
Yeah, he
greatest
was
ever.
good, but not the greatest. Yeah, not the
Of
greatest.
course. Not the greatest ever.
don't
I
know.
agree with
Not
that.
not the greatest.
Not the
I'll
greatest
be
ever,
nice
but
and
he was
in
good.
top 10, but I don't think he
I
made top
voted.
5.
I voted for him though.
Okay, that's good.
I
I mean,
did too. I voted
he
for
was
him
good.
twice.
He was good. That's
My
all I would say.
contention is he ain't help black folk. And you got mad at me because I said that. Unless you were gay. I gotta preface that. Unless you were a gay black person, he didn't help you.
I'm gay.
Listen, you can label yourself anything you want in 2020.
I mean, what difference does it make? Because I don't understand it. He was good, right? He was good to American who voted for him.
Good is subjective.
He was better
I
than
voted
Trump.
for him.
Trump hasn't even
No, he
finished
was
yet.
not better.
He was better
And he-
than 4 years.
No.
He didn't even do anything. He barely did anything the first 4 years.
Because
he
of
was
what?
fighting with the Republicans for 2.5 of them.
See,
He
he
was
have
Uncle
the
Sam.
greatest
Man.
thing that we put in
Uncle
politics.
Sam.
Uncle
Uncle
Sam.
Sam.
What's that
Yeah.
Kim? What's that
I
Kim?
said Obama
was-
I
was
think you're
an
saying
Uncle
Uncle
Sam.
Tom. I think she's trying to.
Hold
Tom.
on, wait a minute.
Oh, that's
wait a
his
minute.
name,
Now
Uncle
we're into the
Tom.
black word. Wait a minute. Whoa.
I wonder who Trump is
slow
then.
down, slow
That-
down.
That's
Let's
the
slow
Uncle.
down.
Trump is Donald
Okay.
Duck. Or
Yeah,
Uncle
we'll
Picture.
say we'll say Donald Duck then Uncle Sam or Uncle Tom or he Donald Duck. We'll say Donald Duck. I can go with that one.
I don't know. This is
Which
definitely
one was the
getting-
richest one? And he was like so stingy with his money. It's Uncle Picture.
Oh, Scrooge McDuck. That's my dude.
Yeah.
Did you know? Quick fact before we go back on. Did you know that in DuckTales they had a murder?
No way. Who got killed?
Yes, when they put the when that dude tried to steal his money and he fell in the vault and all the money fell on him, that
Mhm.
was a murder.
True.
That
I
was a
remember
murder.
that. Person died for real.
But
For real.
yeah, he died. You didn't see him again. That was on the pilot episode. Never saw that guy again. But
Oh wow.
she
That's
called
beautiful.
Obama and Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest diss in the black community today. You get called an Uncle Tom.
But you know
Or
what?
Saturday.
I say this. No, 'cause he did everything they wanted him to do to stay in that seat long as he did. Because if he didn't do it, they was gonna kill him. The first black president, they was gonna get rid of him. Quick.
No. We can't wait. Whoa. Woo. This not going on YouTube no more.
Really?
Nope. Can't play. Only audio. Only audio. Nope. I'm doing you the favor. They're not gonna see your face. Nope. Don't give out your last name either. Edit out where you're from.
Who he ran
Like,
against the
I'm just
second
saying.
term? He ran against John McCain.
No,
Second
he ran
term?
against
Yeah.
Mitt Romney, who was a bad candidate.
Mitt
Okay,
Romney.
Mitt
Yeah,
Romney. Okay, so first he ran
Romney was a
against
bad
John.
candidate. No, John McCain almost beat him. And he would have beat him if Sarah Palin was not his vice president. But
So you really thought Uncle Mitch was going to win?
no,
over
Well, I
Obama.
told
Uncle
you,
Meech.
I almost voted for
Nah,
Mitt
he
Romney
wasn't gonna
because I didn't
win.
like what Obama was doing the first 4 years.
Boy,
But
you see
I
what he
ended up
doing right
voting for
now.
that.
You see what Mitt Romney is doing right now, and the
Well,
whole
Mitt Romney's sitting
Republican,
there going against Trump.
Republican.
We don't know
Okay,
where his allegiance lies, so it's all good. He's
he was
somewhat
not going
irrelevant.
nowhere. He was not going
Right.
nowhere. We
Mike
already
Wilson,
know
get
that.
back to that mic
What?
because we know you love Obama.
Obama's dope.
There it is.
But he used the word I was going to use. Dope. That's it. I'm not going to say greatest. Maybe I'm pushing it. Like I said, it was just to piss. It was piss
Yeah,
kid.
yeah. You
But he's
pushed
good.
it a little bit. You pushed it just a little bit with that greatest now.
You're
Just a
good.
tad.
He was
Yeah,
good.
he was good now. Yeah.
He did.
All right, Mike, how you feel about Obama?
The economy.
I think to Kim's point, there's a great book by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I think it's "We Were 8 Years in Power." Any of you guys read it?
No, I haven't.
It's an
I
awesome
read
book.
excerpts. That man makes me laugh.
You
I
said
love
by who?
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Taneshi Coates. Taneshi Coates.
It's not
Mr.
even-
We Need Reparations.
Yeah,
We
he's
talk
done a lot.
about him too.
Well, the
He said
reason
a
why I
lot.
bring
I don't know
the
if he's done a
reason
lot.
reason why I bring him up, because in the literary community he's well respected. And he wrote this book called "We Were 8 Years in Power," where it's a bunch of essays collections that he did while Obama was actually and he was president. And one thing he mentions, which I think Kim, you're making a bit of a point about this. He mentions his frustration about how he feel like he didn't do enough for the Black community in the book, and he kind of looks at his own point of view on it, and then he kind of excuses Obama in the sense where he's looking at what Obama had to go through being the first Black president. So there was a situation of one of the many police brutality shooting situations that happened. Obama spoke up and he said, if I had a son, he would look just like him. And the media just kind of went ham on Obama. They were just like, I can't believe he said that. He doesn't support the police.
Yeah, I
blah, blah,
heard
blah.
that.
Yeah. So Ta-Nehisi Coates' point to that was, I think he ended up having like a sit down with the officer and the victim's parents or something like that. Like they did like a pizza party or something. I don't remember exactly the detail. But Ta-Nehisi's points to that was, being that he was the first African-American president, he couldn't just do whatever he wanted, unfortunately, because
Nobody
he
can.
represented. Well, of course, that's also very true as president or whatever. But the point being is that he was just a symbol of the growth of America, to the point where, now so many years later, a group of people that were enslaved can now, be president. So it's supposed to, give me a second, kid. It's supposed to be that his presidency was less about what he could achieve and more about the idea that it could be achieved for people who weren't white men. Because essentially that's all presidents have ever been. And so the importance of the notion of his presidency might be more important than his actual years in the seat, is essentially, and of course I'm putting my own words in kind of Ta-Nehisi's mouth, but that's the perception I got from what he was saying in the book. So what do you got from a kid?
You're right. And I said this on our Obama show, that he was a symbol, not a president.
I'm not saying he's not a
Because-
president, but okay. What do you
You
mean?
said he was not a
He
president.
wasn't-
Oh, okay.
He was a symbol. He wasn't a president. He was just the medium to help push progressive ideas, which is
I'm
fine.
going to-
Some
We still have the Affordable
yes.
Health Care Act.
It was a failure, but we had that discussion.
Replace it, fix it then.
It got, well, part of it got fixed. We don't have to pay the fine anymore. But we'll see how this COVID-19 figures out.
Mm-hmm. So
Yes.
what about DACA?
What about it?
One of the promises that the current man in the office ran on was to eliminate both affordable health care and DACA. Was it a bad provision? Because it fixed what
Depends
Kim brought up earlier, which is part of
Mhm.
undocumented illegal immigrants, which if you came under the age, I think, of 5 or 6, something like that, and you overstay your visa, because I don't know how you supposed to know what a visa is at that age. You know, you could be able to stay on this country legally, and then they have a path somehow. I don't think they agree on the path to citizenship yet. That's one thing they didn't agree on. But at least to have a green card.
They're more than likely give you asylum first, and then they'll try to naturalize you.
Yeah.
Prohibitively, and then you go through the citizenship thing. But I mean, I think if I read somewhere, he said he was going to be a little leeway on DACA, like he didn't want to entirely get rid of it because the Democrats would never sign off on it. So I think he gave him like 1 or 2 provisions on it.
That's only after he learned after the shutdown. That's because he learned after the shutdown. That's all. I mean, one thing you guys have to understand, both Obama and Trump, or at least with Obama, he was first black president. And like Mike said, he couldn't do whatever he wants. No one really can, especially in the president.
Black people love to say it was Clinton.
What happened?
Yeah, but he also didn't push it. He just tried to do what he's supposed to do for the black people.
Are we gonna talk about that?
So when he was a president,
what Trump doing.
When he was a president, Trump at least had one house in Congress that is Republican. I think Obama first term, both house in Congress, both the House and the Senate were both Republican. So his idea, even to get on the floor of the House, was a problem. Not to say the Senate and all of those stuff, just to get on the floor. So a lot of what he passed was executive orders. Executive orders are only in effect while you're in office. When the next administration come, they can quickly reverse that. And that's what Trump is doing. So he came back. He was just signing a lot of reversal based on executive power. He did what he could to pass this as legislation. But then for the first term, I think the second term, what they had, the Senate or the House? I think they had a Senate, not the House, because it was easier to win that than to get back the House from Republican. So Trump first term is the other way. So the Democrat won the House, and now the Republican have the Senate. It's funky. It's funny. So they have to come to agreement, and that's why we saw the shutdown sometime last year. That it was based on the border wall. That was a big point of contention that you brought earlier. It was essentially what it was, and to give back some stuff to the Democrat was about the DACA stuff, the early arrival of children and what to deal with them. He didn't give enough. They didn't budge. Government got shut down for the longest time in history, and he had to let it go. He didn't really let it go. Like Kid pointed out, he's using unappropriate funds from the military budget to fund the wall in the meantime. Not the war, right? The wall.
Well, it's a war in Washington, but the wall is down there.
It is the war here.
That's how I heard. Well, it's all good though. Hey, look. I'll meet you halfway. They both had kids in cages, so I'll meet you halfway on that.
Salute.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Y'all let that man Obama get away with that. Y'all ain't right for that.
Go ahead.
But it didn't happen right. Okay, here's a question. Here's an important question. Did Obama have any scandals?
Personal scandal, you mean? Or
Any
administration scandal?
Any scandal?
I think he probably didn't have no scandal. He was just a regular black person. He probably just smoked his bud and just chilled and kicked it in.
Damn, she said she was regular. Wait, she said hold on. She said he was a regular old nigga from College Park. God, dog, that ain't right. That ain't right.
But I don't think he had no scandals though. I think he was clean. Yeah, I think he was clean.
So we don't count the gun scandal. When he was
Yeah,
giving guns to Mexico, the
that's
cartels.
that's right. You're right about that. Now, you're right about that.
That he was giving guns to
Mhm.
Mexico.
No,
Yeah,
they
he was selling guns to the cartels, and he got caught. The FBI was selling guns to the cartels, and he said on the podium he didn't have any knowledge. And then when he got caught on it, him and Holder had to admit that they were doing it, but it wasn't working.
You want
The
to
what?
guns were
get
coming
called
right
on
back.
what happened between Trump and the Russian too?
What? Whoa. Okay. I wish I
Yeah,
had some vodka for you. What did he do with the Russian?
yeah.
Don't-
Because
What
I
did he do
want
with Drago and them? I want to know.
me too.
What did
Yeah.
he do with Drago and them?
You don't know who his boss is? Who's
Who's his
Trump's
boss?
boss is?
Putin? That's what you're fixing to tell me?
Who do
Y'all don't like
CNN
Trump
say
because
is boss?
he can control and he be tweeting some dumb shit online. And he act like a regular old troll.
He
Like
do.
me.
He really do.
Because
That man's a regular, he's a troll. He's listen, that man
y'all
is the
gonna
most
call him a
powerful
troll
man in
until
the
you're
world.
gonna see the truth in what he said, and you're like, dang. Sometimes you have to act dumb to let certain things slide for you. If you act a little too normal, it's not gonna slide. So you need to act stupid
Hey Mike,
on
didn't
purpose.
Nostradamus say that one time the world would be led by the village idiot?
You gotta act like that sometimes. For real. They're gonna leave you alone if you walk like this and just
We thought it was
do
Bush.
your thing.
Listen, let me tell y'all something. Hey, brother Mike gonna get mad at me for saying this.
Have
When
fun.
that man leaves office, y'all gonna miss that man.
Wow.
Y'all gonna miss that man.
I
Y'all
mean,
gonna miss that man. Y'all will miss that man.
Yeah, no.
he gonna
I'm
do
good.
time and he gonna leave. That's
I'll
all
make
it
a
is.
prediction. When he leaves in 2023, watch how many people that hated him gonna turn around and say, you know what, he wasn't that bad. Watch what I tell you.
Once again, we're not saying he's the worst ever. That's not what I open
That
statement
ain't
was
how
not.
that ain't how the liberals say it.
He's not the
That's not
worst
how the liberals
ever.
say it. They say he the worst thing since anthrax.
To his benefits, and I think I told you this before.
Anthrax.
I would say that he kept the economy. He didn't make it bad or worse or anything like that. He found it the way it is. He was able to sustain it.
Y'all
That would have destroyed him if he messed up the economy.
Who wouldn't have? Even the people on his own camp. Like when we speak to American, and the primary thing they're looking for is the job stability and things like that. Everybody is, the rich, the poor, everybody is. So that's one
Right.
thing.
I agree with that.
It touches everybody. So even on his own camp, Republican would have killed him. Like, what are we saying our constitution? What are we going back to our city council and tell them? So he didn't mess up the economy. He found it and he was able to maintain it. And at least that's one thing that I give him props on. I told you this before. So yeah, that's where his 50 came from, you know.
All right. So moving on. Yeah, whatever. Oh, okay. Okay, what we playing? What was that? That was your Uber Eats again?
Yeah.
That Uber Eats is delivering something else.
I
don't know why he going to deliver.
You know what I mean? He trying to figure out if he in the car on
It's
the bike.
something that's going to get you stuff. I'm kidding.
I'm just saying.
Just saying it.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. What else? I might. You know what? I'll leave Obama alone now because I see Mike. He about to come see me. If I say something else,
Nah,
about
we
Obama.
good. We
You
good.
sure?
You know,
Shout out,
me and you
shout out
argue
to
more in
Obama.
person. You know, that's a more other thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're gonna break a leg
shout
of
out to
yours.
Obama. He's sitting over there in his $15 million waterfront property, but crying about climate control. Go ahead. We are going to talk about another subject that is near and dear to all four of us on this panel.
Okay.
Those three letters.
Sex.
That what? Sex. Well, we could talk about
That's
sex.
not what I said.
Oh, I thought we would talk about sex. I don't know. We'd have to get some disclaimers from the people on the panel.
Now go ahead with
That's
your
another-
question, please.
Okay, we're going to talk about BLM. Now, if y'all listen to the show that we did last week, which is up now, I don't like them because I feel like all they were focused on was police brutality when they could have used their efforts and their notoriety to help the Black communities out around the country. You know, establishing more community centers, getting the idiots out off the street and into programs, helping to recertify high school so these kids don't have to get shoveled into college programs if they don't want to go. They could actually go learn a trade and apply that trade to the neighborhood, but that would give Black people much power. So I said, I don't like them. And Rose and I argued like cats and dogs last week over the police shootings during that time period. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on.
I can hear you, kid.
You like them or you don't
Twice.
like them? Huh?
There's
I
a
don't know. I
delay.
didn't do nothing.
Or an echo.
I didn't even do anything.
You don't have your headphones on. Put your headphones back on.
It's clear now.
Yeah, but I'd have to switch it to the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought I was tripping
Yeah,
for
I'm
a
not-
minute.
You might have been.
I think it's better now. It's gone.
Yeah, it is. I
Right.
see. I wasn't tripping.
They're spiking me. You see? They heard what I said about Obama. All right, I'm gonna shut up about that man now. I said something about Black Lives Matter, and I didn't want to come see me. I'm sorry. I just looked outside. Just see
That's
if I
your
see any
own.
Black
That's
history.
your own issue with
We know where you live,
technology.
man. We know where you live.
Say
You
what?
technologically challenged. I don't know how a young person could be, but you. Sometimes I'm like, come on, start this thing already.
All
But
right, I asked the question: do you like Black Lives Matter? Or you don't like it?
I think you and I have always had this conversation. This is one thing. I love you to death, but this is one thing that I'm always telling you all the time. If you have ideas, let people know about it. Kid is the type of dude
Yeah.
that will sit in his house or his kitchen and complain about every single thing. Have great idea. Like sometimes he legitly have the greatest idea ever. And I'm just like, what in the word? Did you try to start something on your own? Did you at least contact? Did you let people know? Because what you just said sounded amazing. This is exactly what we wanted to focus on when we started this movement, not just focus on police brutality and the killings, but actually be able to build some programs. And I'm sure a certain part of the country, I don't follow the movement that deeply, but I'm sure it might have happened in certain smaller scale, but not in a large scale, and for people to know about it or the works. You're shaking your head into no, so I guess that's a no. This is
No.
something you
Well,
could have
well-
shared with, but this is something that you sit back and use to criticize, and that's where I usually don't agree with you. You know, that's simple facts. Like, do I like the movement? Yes, of course. Could I have done more? Of course they can. You can always improve. You're not just gonna hate them because they were shortcomings, but were these ideas discussed? Is this something that someone within the movement thought about? I am sure, and maybe you shaking your head into no, but maybe in a smaller scale, community came together and were able to offer the youth better programs for them not to be on the street, for them not to be involved in some stupid stuff that they know they shouldn't have been doing. But start something in your own neighborhood. The sense of community is what brings us all together. Start small. Let's start something. If you don't
Well,
like
I'm actually
the Black Lives
I
Matter
actually am
movement, start
It's just
something.
gonna take- I am actually looking into that, but it's always the
Damn,
money
let's
thing.
do
But
it.
I'm gonna see if I can start a grassroots style, because I do want to do a workshop every year with men and their sons.
I'm
If
down.
if you're not with your son all the time, or if you are, you
Just
guys come
man, what's
out,
up with
have a
us?
little fun.
Skin tone
Huh?
gender.
No,
What's
because-
up with us?
Well, that relation. What about y'all?
Just for men? What's up with us? Skin tone gender. We're not allowed to bring the kids to.
I would prefer it just be straight men. Because that relationship,
fine.
if we can repair that relationship in the Black community, a lot of our problems can start to get solved.
I agree.
Hispanic
Well,
men
we
are
gonna
not
have a
allowed.
Also agree.
After this, I'm going to ask that question, but I'm going to turn it over to Kim about the same question: Black Lives Matter, yay or nay?
Yes, of course. I totally agree.
So you like him or you hate him?
Oh, I'm all for
If
peace.
you don't want to answer, just say I plead the fifth, like a white
She all for
person.
peace.
I'm all for peace.
That's all
I'm
she
all
needs to
for
say.
Yeah, it is.
That's all she
Okay,
needs to
Mike.
say.
All
That's
for
all
peace.
she needs to
I
say.
know you gotta answer. I know you gotta
That's all she needs to
Mike, what
say.
you got?
I'm all for peace.
Well, first off, kid, I think it's super cool that you have plans to start a program. Because Rose, I've gone through the same thing with him all the years I've known him. We'd meet up. He'd try to get me in an argument, and then he would keep just trolling me. And I'm like, those are great ideas. What do you want to do about it? And he's like, man, black folk don't want to do better. Man, black folk this. Man, black folk that. And so
Well, I sound like a pro-black.
That is so true.
that is what
I sound
you
like
do,
a pro.
kid.
I sound like a pro-black over 125th Street.
But
Come
it's
on now.
funny because I know you're, and I've said it a million times, your intentions are amazing. You just do it so wrong. but yes, no.
Like a
So
pro-black.
what was that?
Just like a pro-black.
So yeah, no, I like Black Lives Matter.
You're anti-pro black.
Yes, I am. I don't like
The two
pro-black.
cancel each other. You just stay with the black. That's it.
Oh,
You're
man.
anti-pro black.
Listen, I already told you. Remember, y'all quickly want to learn a secret? What we were really gonna
Shoot.
call this show first?
Yes.
We were
Go
gonna
ahead.
call it conservative and a coon.
Which one? We went through several names, and I think there's a few things
Yeah,
that
one
you
of them
said
was
I
a
didn't like.
conservative and a coon.
What?
Yeah.
I was gonna call it a conservative and a coon.
And he was a coon.
Yeah, he better
And,
be.
he still is. And he still is.
Oh,
Leave
that's
me and my
hilarious.
cooning ways alone.
And I think we went through 2 blacks, 2 mics too.
Yeah, 2 blacks, 2 mics, but somebody took that already.
Oh, okay.
And then we had a couple one. Was that one was street highways and street hollies and
Yeah, that
highways?
was yours. I was like, what is this? This is like directions
was
to
dope.
somewhere. What is this?
That was
Funny.
a smaller can wine and bigger.
All right, Mike, I cut you off, and I apologize for that.
Nah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Your titles are hilarious. by the
All
way.
right, I actually didn't hear your answer.
Oh yeah, no. So, but yeah, so Black Lives Matter. I liked them when they first came out, and I saw that they were trying to attack an issue that's very important to obviously people of color and in many cases people all over the country. I thought that was pretty cool. I recognize and accept that a lot of wrong decisions were made, and it ended up kind of just being
Sure.
a chance for people to scream and rant, which I mean, that was the same thing with the Wall Street joint when people were going down there and marching. It was the same thing with a lot of movements where the passion is there, but it's a little directionless. It's the same thing with the modern day Black Panther Party. It's a lot of great efforts that were made that pretty much went off the rails because there was no place to go with it. We can scream about people killing people. We can scream about police killing Black folks as much as we want, but what is the plan? What is the plan of action? I was hanging out with some friends of mine. Went to some museum in New York City, and there was this really amazing simulation, which I think you kid might find this hilarious. But essentially, they made this simulation where you sat down in front of this screen, so to speak, and they're watching your face for your facial reactions. And so what they do is they play out you as a first person police officer entering an area with an hostile individual who may or may not be doing criminal activity. And so how you react, your microaggressions changes the plot. So if your microaggressions go in one particular direction, you may end up shooting the person, killing them. If your aggressions go in another direction, you may end up being the one shot or whatever, numerous situations. And looking at that particular exhibition, the goal or the concept was to take that and bring it into the police department and kind of like look at the police officers or new recruits and kind of see what their biases may be and how likely they might attack a person of color if they feel threatened or anything of the sort. Which I think, that was in the museum. I don't know how far that particular exhibit has gone into being implemented in any police departments, but that was a form of artistic expression inside of a place versus a bunch of people screaming at a panel, "Stop shooting us." Like, that's not going to be as effective as actually putting something in front of a person. Because in a lot of these cases, we can go into a whole history of Black issues in America, but in a lot of these cases, people don't know what their issues may be with people of color. I work in a very diverse company where we do housing for people, and we work with formerly homeless individuals and like mental illness individuals. And the thing is that it's Hispanic workers, Black workers, white workers, all the things of the sort. And you can kind of see just on a day-to-day basis how much some of the white employees have really interacted with Black clients, and just the nature and the difference in the relationships and all those things. So a lot of microaggressions, a lot of biases are just very natural because of how you were raised. If you weren't raised around poor people, you might speak to them differently, or whatever the case might be. So going back to my major point is that I think Black Lives Matter could focus, and maybe they are, maybe they're, I don't know. I don't pay attention to them. I heard them scream. I said, okay, I'm tired of screaming. I pretty much ignored them. But I think that those efforts could be put towards scientific use, or studies and things where we could really implement it in troubled areas, and just see what's true, show people who they are, because again, a lot of the biases are unknown. And in the best case scenarios, I like both you Kid and Rose's idea that they could kind of go into other areas and other programs and kind of just continue to help the Black community, and not just make it per se about brutality, and actually make it a bigger thing. That's my thoughts.
Yay, that was great. Thank you all.
What a wonderful speech.
Now, you're a great politician.
Thanks, guys.
Me, I would never get elected because I say too many things, especially about this next question I'm going to ask. Now, Rose, you and Mike know me. What's the one thing I'm consistently talking about?
Black people.
Which sector? Which sector?
How they're lazy and all. How they don't want.
No. Which
Black woman.
Which part of Black people do I talk
woman.
about?
Oh, skin tone, gender.
Yes.
The queens.
Spelled with a K. But we're not gonna go there today. Yes, we are. Now, Rose got mad at me because I said I want to have a workshop with men and their sons. I want
question.
The father, son.
A Hispanic man allow?
Any man's open to go.
Okay, perfect.
But I want my focus to be on Black men. Men that have no job. Listen, that's not. This ain't no Chippendales thing going on around here.
All right.
I know y'all gonna be on the licking y'all lips. I'm just saying.
Go ahead, whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna monitor the workshop that day. I don't know. I come up just to.
Kim and Rose go. I love Black women to death. I do.
You marry one,
but sometimes y'all just do the most.
What?
And
how?
Huh?
All right, so I'm gonna head out.
Stay. Stay.
And
how?
Before we did this, Rose thought you and I were gonna agree on everything, and I was like, "That's not even gonna happen." I'm sure there's gonna be something I say that she's not gonna like, and we found it. Okay.
Let's get through it.
Okay, she's ready.
We know him.
Yeah, you know it because I'm defensive when it comes to my Black women. You know.
Hey.
There you go. Yeah, 3-on-1. I was ready for this. Let's go. Let's go. Wait for the 3-on-1. Okay.
Come on.
I'm not even
y'all
saying anything. I just
y'all have to admit, y'all do a little too much.
We're waiting.
So
I'm trying to tell you.
So let me just say, Kid, you have this amazing way of pissing people off before you make a point. Let's make the point, and then you can piss them off.
He thinks everything is a script. He like to build a suspense. He building right.
For us as a community to move forward and go 100%
I already know what.
into
I already know what's
family,
coming.
you hush your lips. I think our women need to take more responsibility.
I knew
for
it.
The decisions. Stop. Will you let me finish? I think our women need to take more responsibility for the decisions that we collectively made that has us in the position that we are today. I don't think it should always be mostly on us as men and some on the children. And y'all play victim.
When we do that, y'all
That's
call us
how I-
bossy. Oh, she's so bossy.
Right.
Oh
I
my
never- I don't
God.
call y'all
I don't want her to say this and that.
Crazy. I call y'all crazy. I don't call y'all bossy.
No, I mean, I agree with you.
Kim's about to unfollow me, but it's all good.
I don't understand. What you mean take more responsibility and doing what?
Because he want to bring the whole
And doing
single
what?
family.
Take more responsibility and what?
He want to blame that on black
Well, the
women.
single family,
Ever since
yeah.
I met you, that was one thing he want to blame on black women.
Oh,
mean, which-
Not the entirety of it, but you got to take more responsibility than what you're taking. Because it's more of you guys acting more like victims than you're saying, okay, you know what, I kind of did mess up and I kind of should take a little bit of responsibility. It's like it's always us.
You changed your R. You changed your B to what your R. You went with the responsibility. Usually, when we talk, you talk about blame. You need to take more of a blame for what's happening.
I think that's what it is
Blame-
too.
Okay, fine.
I think
That's what
it
he
is.
always
You guys
say. The
need to do more-
blame.
Yeah.
You guys need to take more of the blame. I'm saying responsibility because it sounds a little cleaner.
Sure does.
But yes,
I like that.
a little bit more of the blame. It can't be always on the man.
It's never always on the man. I think the
But most of the time
cultural-
it's the man's fault. 99%
It is.
is
See?
the man's fault. 99% now. I say 98%.
See? I don't even know if she's trolling.
I know. I don't think it's always 100%.
No,
Y'all
I
fault.
said
Look, like,
100.
if we did 50-50, I think we could go a lot further into fixing things.
But then y'all, I mean, this is what I don't understand sometimes with dudes. It's
Man.
like you guys want 50-50 or share
50.
responsibility. But then
Right.
you guys will come and say, no, you need to submit to me. That's what the Bible said.
Okay, see, bang, there we go.
Submit yourself.
We finna have this conversation. Wait a minute. See, that's the problem right there. Y'all think submit is a bad word. Y'all think y'all supposed to be on your knees and do whatever we say. That's not what submit means.
But submit, what does it mean then?
You have to twist it to the definition of submit. When the real definition of submit means when you're in a relationship, there has to be, you have to give up something of yourself. So just like the other person has to,
Mhm.
so you two can work on a relationship together. So you two can be in sync.
I think that that's coming from you guys, the way you guys interpret the submission, though. I don't think it's us.
No,
I think maybe society.
I think that it's like the Japanese where the woman's doing everything and the guy is just walking around and she's picking up after him. That's not what submission means.
Well, that's how
Exactly.
you view it.
Yeah.
That's not how most guy would understand it. Just like you claiming that most girl would say that it's always the main fault when we have broken families broken families. So I think
Yeah, but
for
see, if you want
me,
a chick like that, you gotta earn that.
when my friends, the black guys I know talk about submission, and they literally saying everything I say go. So I'm the man of the house.
That's
If you don't
being
mind.
an asshole.
Okay.
That's
I
being an
can-
asshole.
Can I interject on
Let me
that?
ask you a question,
Because
Rose. How many of them got girls?
Go ahead, Mike.
How many
no,
of them
so-
got women?
what? What are you
I'm
asking,
asking
kid?
Rose, how many of your friends that think like that have women?
That's a good question. I was
There
see
it
them with
is.
6 months relationship. Kidding.
So so I wanted to
What do you
interject
think
kind of on your last statement, Rose, because I know that Mike's whole thing is just pissing people off. But the truth, I think, that's like in this conversation that's not really being touched on is who these individuals are and why they think that controlling you guys is okay and how that relates into a healthy relationship throughout in general. Because as much of a jerk as Kid can be, when it comes to these kind of conversations, he has a super healthy family and super healthy relationship. And if you've ever met Sabrina, you know that his wife, you know that they're amazing together, even when he says the crazy things he's saying. But it's because if you look at the dynamic going there, he's not going in the room and saying, hey, you didn't clean up the house, or hey, you cooking for me tonight, or hey, this, that, and the other, all the crazy things I hear fellow people of color, fellow men say to you guys, which always just upsets me in general. But
True.
much like you said, whether or not these relationships are short, people are giving these guys a shot, right? And I think in Mike's own bizarre world, what he's trying to say is, why is it that any of that attitude is remotely accepted when obviously it's entirely toxic and every man should just stop doing it. I think what he's trying to say is, why is it that any of you ladies would be okay with putting up with it even minutely?
I think the two ladies here on this podcast don't share that. I know Kim definitely isn't one of them. And I think for me, I think Kid and I, like I said, I've seen, Sabrina and his family, and he says a bunch of things that piss people off. And then we agree a lot of things about relationship. We do. We share the, I believe a relationship goes, a lot of people, everybody in the relationship need to pour the whole heart into it and their self into it. They need to invest themselves into it. It doesn't matter your gender, which side of the relationship, you have to be in there to be in it for a long run. And I think if we start looking at relationship like that, it will look less like, what we see nowadays. Certain words like came about and I'm just like, man, really? But I don't know. It's just the normal way of dating, the normal way of relationship is just something that make me feel like sometimes I'm old, but I'm like,
You're right, and the notion of dating in modern society has shifted, but I think it's also really scary when you look at dating as people of color to people of color, because what people expect from their partners, or at least what some type of people expect from their partners. I work with, like I said, I work with a certain group of people, but one day I remember a man who's like 35 years old. He's like, I need a girl to take care of me. So like the statement is, I need a girl, period. And then the next statement is, to take care of me. And I've been in, right. Exactly. And that's what I mean. I think a lot of times, and of course, like, this is an individual who has his own history. And I think a lot of the dudes that we're generally talking about have probably similar histories where they didn't really have a family. They really grow up in home and everything, but they have this distorted idea that you, Rose Gold, is supposed to take care of him. You're supposed to, be there for him in the sense of, all right, I need that caring, loving thing I didn't have when I was a baby or a toddler. And, I felt alone and scared and I was confused by the world. And they think that you're supposed to be their mom. And obviously that's entirely inaccurate. But I think that's where a lot of that terribly distorted perception comes from.
Yes, Kim.
I'm like K. Michelle. You can't raise a man. And like,
why did you bring her up?
Well, I'm just saying, you can't raise a man. And our relationship should be like, I think 50-50. Like, I mean, it's not back in the days when a woman just supposed to sit at home no more and take care of the kids.
I mean, back in the day, it was a distorted perception. Like, that wasn't right.
Yeah, it was. But we more powerful now. We make our own money and got more power. And, I think it should be 50-50 now. I think that's the only way probably a relationship will work. Is, 50-50.
I mean, you justify your point, but every time someone say we're making our own money, we're making this, for me, is like, it's a different thing. I think it's more than financial. I think this is the way healthy relationship goes. It's more a spiritual, it's more of a psychological and mental thing. Even if back then you didn't have a job, at least your job was to take care of the children. That is still a job. So I don't really want to say that we need to be, I don't want to call this new generation the emancipated generation, because I know that the word doesn't resonate a lot very well in a positive note with people. Oh, y'all acting too emancipated right now. Y'all, I had a guy one time tell me, and we were just dating, we were getting to know each other, and he was really scared. And I never really knew he was scared until he was like, oh my God, you are so independent. And I'm like, yes. And I need a guy who is so independent too, because I'm not a child. What do you want me to depend on? But I'm very close to my family. Kid came to visit. He saw me literally, we went to my mother's house. He saw my sister there. We really closely.
Just laughing at Kim.
You really thought you were going to sneak that?
Wait, your food came?
Her food came. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she was taking a bite of the food.
I don't know what Rose talking about over here.
Wait a minute, how much you gave?
Oh my god. Okay.
Wait a minute, I got a question for the
Why
ladies.
not? Rose, go. Please go ahead. Carry on.
I got a question for the ladies after
Go
she's
ahead,
done.
kid.
No, you done? I don't want to cut you off. You don't like when I cut you
What was
off.
I even talking about?
You talking about the guy you was dating? You talking about how he's
Yeah.
independent?
So, and I'm like,
He was a pretty independence, yeah.
and I was like, dude, are you serious? Because I was like trying to tell him, like, I want you to be independent. I want you to bring the best of yourself or who you have now, so I can bring who I am now into this relationship, so we can support each other and get better together. But I want you to become fully independent. I mean, I am independent. I I leave by myself now. I do things by myself. I still have that family unit, and he knew how close I was with my family, and he was close to his. But I didn't know. It didn't make any sense. For me, it sounded like he wanted my independence took away some of his independence, which didn't make any sense because I was not trying to take anything from him. Neither, bring who you are and who I am, and this is how we're gonna do. Be as a whole as you can be, and I will be whole as I can be to make this thing work. People like, oh my god, you're so independent. I'm like, yeah, because I don't come for you asking you for stuff, really.
Yeah. So, kid, I don't know if this is your experience, but being a dude and hanging out with dudes, how often have you heard like that idea that dudes are afraid that if a girl has what she needs, she doesn't need him?
I went through that with the one in the bedroom.
We need y'all. Like, who lied to y'all?
I'm not saying you don't, but I mean that is.
Nah, real talk. When she'll tell you when we first started dating, I'll be like, "Yo, you want me to get that for you?" Nah, I got it. I'm like, "All right, let me take this thing." I got it. I'm like, I started calling her Sonya Blade. She don't need no help. I felt like that. I know I really piss me off sometimes.
It's early on, but didn't you just say early on when you guys just met? I think for us to be comfortable, we don't want because you guys too. We are scared.
After we met, we were already dating. This was like 3-4 years in.
Okay,
and she was still still does it today.
I don't want you guys to get this wrong. Like,
well,
I'm not implying.
You should be happy. You should be happy that she still do it today.
I feel useless sometimes, and then when she tell me go sweep the kitchen, I'm like, nah, you go do it, and I get some thrown at me. That's why we about almost 3 years in.
And that's the thing. I don't necessarily know where that comes from for many people, but there's this bizarre perception. All of this is perceptions, right? So it's this bizarre idea that if she doesn't need us, we're useless. Now, I don't necessarily feel that way, but I appreciate Mike being honest about having those feelings at some point, because that is something that a lot of dudes go through. But I also think that's something that can be a conversation. So in Kid Gravity's situation, I'm pretty sure he's been like, yo, how can I want to be there for you. How can I be helped? Like, what can I do for you type of thing? And Rose, going forward, I'm not implying that you've never done it, but that could be something you could think of. It's like, okay, he probably feels like I'm pretty independent. Let him know that there's something he can do for me, even if it is something as simple as taking out the trash, like whatever. It's just a weird way. It's not something, because of course there's the other side of it too, right? So you guys need things as well. And I think you guys should be open and honest. And I'm pretty sure a kid's going to have an opinion on that. So I apologize in advance. But I think the conversation just kind of saying, hey, I am an independent individual. I want you to be an independent individual. But I recognize that much like the kind of motherly nature that most women have, just that kind of, I want to do something for you kind of thing. There's also that in guys. And for a lot of guys, if that's not met, they feel empty or kind of useless. I don't know why. I am not a scientist, but I've definitely noticed the pattern.
I have a question for the ladies.
Don't you always?
I'm about to say.
He got plenty of questions. He was waiting for this day because he was getting tired of me. Then he see Kim, new toy.
Well, I had to make sure it was a good tag team match, but then it became a handicap match because y'all don't like me no more because I said something about black women. That's okay.
Come on, kid.
Now, when y'all wake up in the morning, right? I just want to know for the black females. When y'all wake up in the morning, y'all play this. Y'all have that in the bathroom.
Hey,
I just want to know. Y'all really do that? That's why y'all wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Y'all want to hit nobody hear that?
No, I wake up and listen to Rocco every morning. This morning I woke up feeling like money. I jumped up and that's my song of the morning, not that song. But I do feel that though.
What song is that?
I said I feel Beyonce what you just played, Destiny's Child, but I'm saying I wake up to Rocco every morning.
Okay.
Rocco's Modern Life.
No, he just saying it's this morning he get money. He woke up, he feel like money, he jumped up.
Mike, is that one of these new rappers that I don't know about?
Yeah,
Probably.
I don't know who that she talking
Man,
about.
y'all know Rocco. He's an old school rapper. Monica, baby daddy.
Oh, see, she know
yeah,
everybody,
you know
baby
what,
daddy.
But
Kidding.
you know
That
what?
must be a
But
Tyler
look,
Parker. I don't know nothing about this dude named Rocco. I don't know who that is. That must be a Georgia thing.
I don't. Yes, I'm about to say I forgot y'all. You know this the eighth year.
The only dude I know with Monica is Shannon Brown. Shout out to Shannon Brown.
That's true.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Shannon
but
Brown.
I know. Shout out to Shannon.
Rocco is her oldest son. Her oldest two boys. That like that's what she was doing before.
Oh, that's her
But
son?
anyway,
That's the baby daddy.
no, that's the baby daddy. But anyway,
The baby daddy is the oldest. You know, we have many baby daddies. That's the oldest baby
I-
daddy,
yeah,
the
y'all
middle
go
baby
ahead
daddy,
on
then the little baby
I'm
daddy.
looking at
You
her,
know,
I'm like, who that- she said Rocco. If you listen to Rocco my like theme song, A-More,
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
yo, she got that kind of cool. You know,
I
that
know.
thing ain't
I
got
just
no-
wake up.
ain't got number 2 words.
Mm-mm. My listen to the
Right.
I think
Bible.
Rocco would be an awesome Chicago rapper. You don't say number 3 words. Well, okay.
Yeah, silly.
What else?
That's
What else?
it,
Yeah,
kid.
what else?
That's
What
it.
else?
That's it? Yeah.
That's it.
'Cause I want to make sure I can get all this audio. But it was fun. Sometimes fun.
Sometime fun.
So before
That's been
we
fun.
leave, we're gonna play the round robin. Y'all promote y'all's brands if you have one, promote your Instagram. And if anything's coming up of note that we can promote for you, we will do so.
I love
So we
following
will
Kim
start
already.
Huh?
I love following him, Kim already. Man, her opinion. She make me laugh.
Y'all can have your conversation off camera and tell me how much.
I had to hang with her
I just
because
think-
I didn't want to comment on her post. I was like, let me hang with this girl first.
Yeah, look, hey, people be bashing me on the head all the time. Y'all wouldn't believe the DMs I
Listen,
get.
I've
I'm
been
talking
seeing
about
some
for
of your
real.
posts on IG, and I'm like, yo,
I don't blame them reading what you write
somebody get
sometimes.
flagged
You know.
there. I saw that HIV post.
Hey,
That's
I was
somebody
telling the
who
truth
put your
though.
neck.
People worrying about the coronavirus when they should be worrying about. Look, you can catch HIV way faster than you can catch the coronavirus. Like straight up, for real. And people worried about the wrong thing. Like for real, it's just a media thing. Like to get everybody alarmed. That's all. They trying to mess with the economy right now.
How
Because
you gonna
Trump
catch
boosted the
HIV
economy.
faster than you can catch corona?
They try to have a global
know,
recession. I told you this.
Exactly. That's
They
what
want
they
a global
trying to
recession.
do. They want one. They want to see this. Like for real, the deals are delusional. Like really.
All right.
Sorry
So
to
before
say it.
we let everybody promote, I just want one last thing to say. Black folk, put y'all's money together. Don't buy no alcohol. Please go buy stock. It's a bear market right now. That means everything is cheap. Please go buy some stocks and gold and silver, please. Because once this dollar falls, that's going to be your only negotiating tool. So since Mike Wilson and Rose say I don't do nothing for the community, that's one piece of advice I can give you guys.
Killing it.
You always gonna get
Everybody promote yourselves. I'm finna go get something else to eat.
Well, I'm about to promote y'all. Hit me up on the XO Slay. I sell hair, weave products, all you want. If y'all need some hair, your girl needs some hair, I will mail it.
You know we got.
Just let me
You
know,
sell weed.
IG
Wait a minute, you sell
at
weed.
the XO Slay. Okay. Y'all tripping. I said weave, hair weave, like hair products.
No. We got to talk about this before we go.
I
You
said
sell
no.
weed.
Hair products, yes.
Oh, you don't sell weed.
Look, hair products. So let me know. Brazilian, Remy, whatever you need. 16, 18, 20, 22 inch. Boom, I got you. Okay.
64,
So you do sell
74.
weed.
At the XO
You do
Slay.
sell weed. Oh wait, let's just clarify. So you do sell weave.
Weave, yes.
Not weed. I mean, you know.
Not with.
I didn't say weed. I said weave.
Not that
You
smoke
will
I
tell
saw
me
earlier.
why.
You know. Not that.
Right.
No,
What
So
you
I'm not
say?
I don't like weed, but you
Not
know
that.
that y'all ain't right.
Oh, but look.
I love
y'all
natural
girls
black
want-
women. I'm sorry. I don't like weed.
Well, look. Hey, but listen, I'm natural too. But see, I know a
No,
lot
I
of
see your
I,
natural there. I'm just saying
We can pull
you
different
selling
looks,
weed.
you know.
yeah, a lot of my people love to change up. So, I like to change up. Sometimes
I
I feel
agree.
long, sometimes I feel short, sometimes I feel natural, sometimes I feel whatever. So I go there.
There's always 65 women in one woman, so you know.
Right.
Oh, wait, let's ask the question then. Since the coronavirus, where you get your weed from? You don't get it from China, do you?
Because Kid had a post about no weave thing in China and say the stuck.
Yeah. No, because a
Oh,
lot of weed come out of
MG.
China. Where your weed come from?
Don't answer
Somewhere.
that, Cam.
Don't answer that.
You see
From
all
somewhere.
right. I got some. All right, fine. I'm gonna leave it alone. Miss Kim,
Yeah,
it's
leave
been
it
a
alone.
pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a
Yes,
pleasure
it's been a pleasure.
too.
Miss Rose, promote yourself.
Hey y'all, come check me out in DC. I'm about to DJ soon. So once that DJ controller get here and this Corona ish is out of the way, summertime, baby.
All right.
Just follow me, god damn it. Be on
They
border.
don't know where you at.
I'd be on border. I Rose, Rose.go DC.
She don't even know what her Instagram is. You see this?
You know,
I thought y'all was supposed to rattle.
I was
that
not
thing
born
off
with
and-
one. That's all
Yeah.
it is. I was not born with one, so
Well, you
I
got
had to
like
create
3.
one. So
Well, you got like 3, but it's all good.
for a little crazy kid, y'all might see me or y'all ask him. That's it. You know where I'm at.
Yeah. Mike Wilson.
So yeah, as I said before, I'm a hip hop artist and I do like shows or whatnot. I don't know if any of my shows are gonna be happening. I had something going on the 28th of this month, but that
We'll
might
pull
be
up.
canceled. Well,
We'll be the
that might
only
be
one in
canceled.
attendance, so we can keep our 6 feet away.
Word,
Wow.
word.
You trying to say my man can't get no audience? Is that what you trying to say?
Right.
That was not the implication of that statement.
He said if it's canceled and we can still show up, we
Canceled.
will be the one showing up.
Oh man.
We can just do
So
it
yeah.
on the stoop. We do it on the stoop.
Nah, man, we're gonna do a streaming thing, man. I'm gonna hit you up. We're gonna get this thing going. We're gonna do like 4 performances with people streaming on your guys' joint Beyond Borders. How about that?
Cool.
Words. Word. Word.
But yeah, so so you can check me out therealmikewilson.com. It's usually pretty uplifting stuff. I have which I guess now it's not a great, well, it's actually perfect time to mention my Black Jesus clothing line joint because Kid Gravity can't say anything crazy about it. So yeah, if you want to see some Black representation on t-shirts, you can hit me up for that as well. as he smiles.
We can talk about religion if you want. We'll do that another day.
I know y'all can see my
I'm
white
good.
one
Yeah.
back there.
I'm good.
Mike, you need
But
you need to make some Trump shirts.
yeah. All right, we'll talk. We'll talk.
That's a good idea.
DM me on Instagram, TRMWBK, if you guys want to check out some stuff. And yeah, that's it. I just want to thank you guys for having us. Kid Gravity, Rose Gold. It's awesome speaking with you, Kim. I learned a lot from you guys, like legit. Like you guys seem to have a great understanding of a lot of political things. So really feel like I'm walking away with some new information. So I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
And last but not least, because y'all going goodbye, Kim. And just before we leave, just want to say, Black folk can have a rational conversation, and you notice nobody said nothing about nobody's mama. So
Right.
pro-Black. Please watch this video, and you can
Watch
disagree
it.
and agree without talking about somebody's mama or who been to jail.
Right.
Or who got a arrest record back in 84.
Y'all don't know this.
I'm just saying, listen, if you listen to them pro-Blacks on YouTube, everything is on the table. They even talk about your baby mama. So I just want to preface that and we're all of Generation Y, so it's okay. We can disagree on things and we can agree on things. And then everybody can jump on me because I said something that everybody didn't like. But that's just a Sunday for me. So, everyone have a creative week. Speak real and do your research.
We're not woke.
No
We're just
agreement. You see
awake.
this? No agreement. And oh yeah, and black folk, please learn to read words again. Don't read pictures. We gotta go.
Great talking to you guys later.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Kid, you're crazy, man.
Of course.
The hell do I hang up this ish?
You just push leave studio.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
okay. What is Mike Will
TRMWBK.
TRM
WBK. If it doesn't show up, just start typing Mike Wilson and it'll be the first one.
WB. Okay, I found him. Bye.
Okay, goodbye.